YouTube people, how are you? You're doing wonderful, I'm sure. That's my prayer, is that you are doing absolutely wonderful on this beautiful, I think it's Wednesday. So as you can see, I'm up out here on my morning walk, enjoying this beautiful day. And I decided, you know what? Let me come out here and go live. Yes. But in this video, I'm going to be talking about those times where you feel like you don't know if God has heard you, if he's working on your prayer, if he's helping you get out of that situation you've been asking him about. You don't know if, he's open to blessing you. And the answer to that question is he is absolutely open to blessing all his children. There's no reason for you to think God doesn't hear you. God isn't working on a plan for you. God is up to something specifically for you. And if you've been following my channel, then you already know what one of my favorite verses is. Jeremiah 29:11. I know he has plans for me. Not just plans, but he wants me to have hope, wants me to have a future. He doesn't want me sitting around depressed, upset, not thinking that, I should just settle for a life that is unworthy of the one he created me to experience. And because I know this, and I didn't always know this, it took me a while to get to that point to where I was able to surrender to God and trust he has a will for me, and trust that he wants me to have a great life, and to really believe that I wasn't put here to be miserable and to just always be in a constant state of anxiety and internal turmoil because I'm not happy with the situation I'm in. And so once I really went to God earnestly in prayer and asked him to guide me and to direct my path and to show me his ways, and also once he gave me the information and started to guide me, I had to be obedient, because there's nothing for him to give me that information that I pray for and ask him to direct my path and guide me, but I'm not obedient. I don't follow the path. I stray off. I go out into left field. I start doing my own thing, and I'm not being obedient. But then I get upset because I'm not at peace. I don't have the life that I want. I'm not happy. I am full of just all these emotions, and I'm just not content. Have you ever felt like you're just unsettled, like you're out of alignment? And it comes from not being obedient. Many of us think we know everything. We want to do things our way. And when you get to a certain age and you start to develop some wisdom, which comes from learning from your mistakes, you start to look at the pattern of your choices and the decisions you've made and where they've landed you. And that should cause you to think, okay, this is what I did last time. Let me do something in a different way and see what the results are. And when you start to do that and you start to see the outcome of those decisions, then you have the proof right there of how powerful your choices are. Because all of us have free will. All of us should really work on being intentional about every choice we make. And that is about being obedient. So when you start to And a lot of times we don't want to be obedient because being obedient to God isn't fun. I can't go out and get lit and get intoxicated and just lower my inhibitions and have me a good time, even though being obedient to God requires me to act in a Christian way, to follow his will, to not, fornicate, commit adultery, to not steal, to not lie, to not covet, to not be, full of gluttony, a list of things, to not be lustful. But if we really want to be obedient to his word and manifest his will in our life, you're going to have to eliminate all of that stuff. And it's not easy. Not easy at all. And the world we live in will have you thinking that up is down, left is right, and nothing is wrong. Everything is A-okay. But when you get out there and you start doing that stuff, thinking it's fun, but we all know what we feel inside. People can put on a good face and make you think from the outside looking in, oh wow, they're so happy. Every time I see them, they're the life of the party. But loneliness, you don't always see that because it's a feeling. The loneliest people in the world sometimes can look like they just have everything going on. They have all these friends. They're always here. They're there. And that's another trick of social media. They only show you the highlights, the good things. And so you start comparing yourself thinking, well, dang, every time I get online, she's traveling. She's having fun. She's eating out. She's enjoying her life. She's dressing like this. People show what they want us to see. Very few people are showing themselves 24/7. And even then, are they being extremely transparent to everything, how they really feel, showing you the good, the bad, the ugly, the ups and downs, all of it. And it takes a lot of courage to be able to be that transparent to the world, because some of us can't even look in the mirror and be that way to ourselves. And that's where a lot of the dissatisfaction comes into play when it comes to questioning God and what he's doing. We'll question him before we question ourselves. We will question God and what he did, what he didn't do, before we will ever go look in the mirror and question what we did, what we didn't do, why we did it. And did we put God first in those choices? Because when you actively put God first in every choice you make, he's going to clear a very clear path for you. You're not going to miss it. Because when you place God at the head of your life and you run every decision you make through him for his approval, to gain his obedience, he's going to clear your path from distractions. He's going to clear your path from people who don't mean you any good. He's going to remove those people out of your life. And that's another thing. God will remove people, but we run back and get them because we don't want to be alone. He'll show you every sign clear as day. You will ignore it, justify it, try to reason it. Even after you ask God for a sign, but you don't want to be alone. And sometimes God needs us to just sit in that bad choice you make so you can understand it and not do it again. To sit in that loss so you can feel it and know the consequences of the choices that led you to that. to sit in that hurt and pain so you can truly understand what happens when you do things outside of God's will. And I'm not saying that you follow God's will, your life is just going to be easy and everything. But what I am saying, when you follow his will, you're obedient to him, and you have these setbacks, these heartaches, these losses, these misunderstandings, these trials and tribulations, what happens is, because you have God with you, you don't fall into despair. You don't become hopeless, because your faith in God knows, because you have that faith in God, you know that he's with you. And you know that there's something that's going to come out of whatever you're going through that's going to be to your benefit. It's going to work towards your good. Whether he's trying to mold you into the best version of yourself, whether he's trying to show you a new way, whether it's a lesson you need to learn the hard way. All of it is out of his love. Because if he didn't love you, he wouldn't correct you. He wouldn't try to direct you. He wouldn't try to have you go down a path that is towards his will in your life. But we got to trust that he knows better than we do. And for me, to get to that point, all I have to do is look over my life at the decisions I made without him. And I know what kind of mess I was in. I don't have to think back too far or too hard to know where my life was when I wasn't focused on God. But when I turned my focus towards him and towards me, I saw a change. And it didn't happen overnight. It's never going to be just overnight. Not that God can't do things in a miraculous way, in a matter of hours or seconds or minutes. And sometimes he does, just to show you how powerful he is. But it takes time to undo a lot of the damage that the world has placed on us when we are out here living in the world and going by their standards and placing emphasis on what's okay out here in the world. But once you do turn your focus back to God, or on God if it's your first time around, it's not easy. You're going to have that temptation that comes and tries to pull you back in, because the enemy stays busy. The enemy is out there looking for souls. And so that same thought that is telling you, no, live for the world, it's okay, it's going to be just as strong as that mindset for you to follow God. But that's where your choice in the matter comes into play. You get to decide what you want to do, who you want to follow, the life you want, what matters, what's important to you. And once you make that decision, then act accordingly. Because the thing that God gives us all is grace and mercy, which you keep going down that path, it leads to salvation of your soul. And I want my soul saved more than I want to be high, drunk, full of lust, lying, cheating, gambling. Is nothing, in my opinion, out in this world that's worth me sacrificing my soul for it. So that's just me. But just wanted to come on here and thank you all. I've hit my 1,000 subscribers. Woo! Yay! Yay, 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 yay. So please subscribe if you haven't done anything. And also follow me on all social media platforms at iamjamilanaila. Thank you all. Take care, stay safe, be blessed. Bye.